You know, the beauty trends are actually showing. They said that ugly is going to be trendy.
I hope for only women because
I hope for only women.
We're the best generation.
I honestly feel like we are.
We were drinking vodka cranberries out of horrible plastic cups. We were making out and nobody knew about it. Yeah. We had a time. And that's why everyone is still listening to our music.
I had somebody, on social media recently tell me that I would never make it to 30. My response to them was, babe, I'm 39.
Hey guys, welcome to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I have an exciting show today. A woman I have been a fan of for a very long time, Tess Holliday. She is a body positivity advocate. She is a model, honey. She's a fashion icon. She's an author. She has a new book coming out, and I'm just very excited to talk to her and talk about all the things that she's represented for many, many years when it comes to body positivity online and women and fashion. So she is an amazing guest, and I'm very excited to talk to her. Of course, we'll have Never Too Personal later on in the show. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit subscribe and follow us on all of our social medias at Too Personal Show. So I was kind of hesitant to talk about this subject because it sort of came and went, and then it came back again. And now it's had the same result for both apps. So the T app, if you haven't seen or heard about the T app, it was originally a space that was designed for women to be safe while dating. That was the idea or the goal behind it. So women would go on and share information about men that had, maybe had a sexual assault or sexual harassment backgrounds. Perhaps they were dating very deviously, harming people, things of that nature. Of course, there was public backlash from men, and there was a data breach where all of the users who were on the app their information was breached and was hacked on the internet. So the men fired back with a version of their own, T on her, and it was supposed to protect men and give men a safe space to date. That also has had a recent data breach. So in order to sign up, you have to put in like your ID and your personal information. I hated the original version of this. I hated, obviously, the silly retaliation version of this. I would hope that no man that I have ever dated has signed up for the T on her app. T, you use the word T, just in a regular conversation. But the really bigger reaction that I had to both of these apps is this. It's very difficult for women to date safely. I know for a lot of men that sounds very dramatic and it sounds very unrealistic, but it is the truth. Every time that I meet a new person and I go out with them, my friends know exactly where I'm going. They know exactly who it is. They have their phone number. They have their Instagram profile. If it's the very first time I meet someone, I drive so that I can leave whenever I want to, and I don't have to worry about getting an Uber or wondering if I drank too much. There's a million precautions. Walking to the parking garage, you never walk alone. Everything about being a woman is about staying alive, is about staying safe. And for some men who do not have proximity to women, do not have daughters, do not have sisters, do not have women that they care about, perhaps this sounds like a very foreign concept. Or maybe you do, and you've never had to have the experience of trying to stay alive in a world where men are trying to hurt you. Now, you may say, okay, I don't know anybody okay, well, people are out here assaulting women. So just because you may not personally know that your friend or someone that you know has done that, somebody's doing all the assaults. And I understand that there are a lot of women that have lied about the assaults. There are more women who have never reported their assaults than there are women lying about sexual assault and sexual harassment. That being said, I feel like we have lost the plot when it comes to modern dating. Of course, there were parts of this app, the original T app, where women were just reviewing men. Oh, he ghosted me. Oh, he doesn't text back. Oh, he dates a lot of women. That's not anyone's business. And having a review that is public about how you dated a specific person when you didn't cause them any physical harm or sexual harm is crazy, ladies. And in contrast, if you're a grown man who felt the need to download the Tea on Her app and talk about how many men this girl that you thought you dated, that you had a drink with once, has slept with, you're also completely delusional. We have to find a way to communicate and treat each other in a way that is positive. And I know you're like, this is coming from the bitch that talks about how she hates men every fucking day. And to be clear, I absolutely hate a specific group of men. I hate bitch ass men. Hate bitch ass men. And if you feel offended by the term bitch ass man, you're probably a bitch ass man. Because men who aren't bitch ass men think what I'm saying is funny because they know they're not bitch ass men. Now I can go through a long list of things that make you a bitch ass man, but the reality is if you're not a bitch ass man, you already know this is not who I'm talking about. That being said, there are women who act completely insane, who do not treat men with respect, who do not treat people with respect. They lie, they move around crazy, all of those things. There's bad groups of people in every part of what's going on here when it comes to dating. But at the end of the day, do a background check on someone if you feel like you're unsafe. If you're a woman, you should probably do a background check on every new person that you meet because people will move around crazy. If you're a man, take your time. Don't invite a stranger to your home on the first night. That might sound crazy to you as a man. As a woman, that makes perfect sense. There are just things that we need to do when it comes to dating where we just treat each other with a little bit more respect, a little bit more honesty. For the men out there who are worried about how many men or women a woman has slept with, you probably shouldn't be in the dating pool right now. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on the type of people that you're dating. It's not really all about what your preferences are for a person who's existed for 30 years on this planet before they came to meet you. If you're a woman and a man ghosted you, that's not a crime. That's not illegal. That doesn't even necessarily say anything about his character. You have no idea what people are going through. I think we all just need to take a deep breath and treat each other with a little bit more respect. And I'm saying that completely aware that I bitch about men all the time. But the type of man that I'm bitching about is very specific. I have wonderful men around me. I have fabulous family members that are men. I have fabulous friends that are men. I have business partners that are men. And they are all wonderful people. And I think they are so important, and I treat them as such. Anything else that's going on, you already know who I'm talking to. But this whole Tea on Her, Tea app stuff, please, we got to start communicating better, guys. We have to. All right, now it's time to talk to Tess Holliday. So excited to have her in studio. All right, I am so excited. I feel like the original Instagram me is freaking out right now. I have been following Tess for so long. I love your content. I love your style. I always want to copy your outfits. I don't have that swag in me. But I just think you are the cutest and so beautiful. And I just have to give you your flowers before I get started because I am genuinely fangirling that you're here.
Well, I think you do have the swag because literally look at you.
Well, thank you.
Stunning. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
I've loved following you over the years, so I'm really excited to talk to you. If you don't follow Tess, make sure you go follow her at Tess Holliday. And you have a new book.
I do.
So take up space, y'all. A Southern girl. Take up space, y'all. Your bold and bright guide to self-love. It's available for pre-order now. Comes out on August 26th. So I will be pre-ordering that.
Thank you.
We love reading around here. Books are essential. What made you want to write a book?
So this is my second book. My first one was a memoir, which I don't know if it's very narcissistic of me to do a memoir when I was 35. No. So now at 40, I'm doing my first book for teens and tweens. And I think growing up down south, I felt really alone. This was way before social media and the internet, really. So I would escape in the woods with my backpack and snacks and whatever I had and a book. And I wanted to kind of replicate that feeling. I wanted someone like these kids to have a safe space outside of the internet and have something in their hands that reaffirmed something that they're maybe not hearing. And the timing of the book is just funny because the, state of the world feels like it's burning. So I'm glad it exists right now.
It definitely, the regime is doing a lot.
It is.
Yeah. I don't call it an administration. It's the regime around here.
Fair. Yeah.
You do a lot of things. You're a model, body positivity advocate, an author. You've walked runways, you've been on magazines. And I really feel like you have such a specific and important role in not just, the body positivity space, but also in fashion, because, I'm like, making a joke about your style, but like you have amazing style, and it's difficult sometimes to find clothing that is in a bunch of different sizes. Even for me, like shopping online, I really don't like shopping at places that don't have different sized models, because everyone has a different body type. And like, I can look at something and be like, I ain't gonna look like that on me. Like, I'm 5'2". I can't, this model is 5'10". Like, there's just not, I'm like, we don't have the same legs. Yeah. It's not gonna work. Have you seen a change in the fashion industry? Obviously, you have been a part of that change. Have you seen a significant change in the availability of plus size fashion?
Oh yeah. Ever since 2019, there's been a rapid decline in the plus size industry, not just with the use of models, but brands closing. There's so many brands that have closed or either scaled back their sizes, because part of my work is I'm an inclusivity and diversity consultant. So I've consulted with Pinterest and I've consulted with H&M, which unfortunately H&M scaled back a lot of the progress that we did, because at the end of the day, there's always a white man at the top of a board making decisions for people that don't look like him. And it's incredibly frustrating to see so many brands scale back because they say there's not a need, but really it comes down to, why is there not more diversity within your company and within the people making these decisions? Because it's not just about, I'm so loud about, I think, body positivity in general and diversity, because that is literally what makes the world a better place. That's when real change starts to happen, when there's actual diverse people in these spaces. So yeah, it's been declining and it's hard to see. But, I'm still fat and need clothes. So I guess if they want me to walk around naked, I'll do that too.
We're not against, listen, I'm a huge nude person. I've had this conversation on the show many times. I could have less clothes because I don't wear them at home.
Same.
I'm actually for this, actually. I was at the beach recently and I had a thought about it, like how interesting it is, like at the beach, we all think everyone is looking at us. And in fact, no one is looking at us.
No.
And it's such an interesting place to be, because we're all constantly critiquing our bodies in whatever state they're in. And then we all go to this place, take all our clothes off, and then mind our business and eat sandwiches. Yeah. It's like, if we could just have a little bit more of this in the world, I think we'd be doing better. I mean, visibility is a problem across the board everywhere. Obviously, DEI is on attack in a lot of different spaces. But the rollback of the production is interesting to me, because there is a demand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that a lot of companies use plus size customers, I think, as scapegoats to say that there's not a need.
So do you think that the lack of like models and visibility is affecting the sales? Because, with anything in life, if something's making real money, they're going to keep it around, because green is the only color that truly matters to any of these people. So it is, in your opinion, a direct result of the lack of visibility. That is, so if you go to a website and you see like no models that look like you're not even going to look and see if they have 3X or something like that.
I think that that's a very good point. And I think that is a big part of it. I think that a lot of it has to do with visibility. I mean, even with my work with H&M, I wanted them to have more models in not just different sizes, but different races, different abilities, like really show how diverse folks are and what they look like in their clothing. Because you're right, when you're shopping on a site, you want to see someone that looks like you, or someone that you at least feel like you can identify with, whether you're petite, whether you're hourglass, whether you whatever. I want to see someone that looks like me. And I think that is a big problem. But I also think that a lot of the problems are internal within these companies. I feel like there are not enough diverse people at the top of the food chain making these decisions. And I'm not saying it's all white men's fault, but
no, it is. We are absolutely saying it's all white men's fault. She's joking. It is absolutely white men's fault.
I mean, but they're the ones calling the shots, and they always have been. And that's who I like to blame the majority of my problems on.
I mean, you're on the right track. You're in the right building, sis, for sure. You're not going to get any pushback from me. Do you try to destigmatize the word fat?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody has eyeballs. I'm fat, but I'm also like hot, and now I'm being a narcissist, funny, and charismatic and talented.
It's not narcissistic to talk good about yourself.
I agree, but
we also throw the word narcissist around way too much. Like everyone is not a narcissist just because they're confident.
That's true.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of words that communities have claimed, and done work to drain the toxicity out of. So, do you think that within like the plus size community that is a thing?
When I was promoting my first book, it's The Not So Subtle Art of Being a Fat Girl is the title. And I remember doing so much press around the world for it. And people were like, oh, well, why put that in the title? Or even now when I say the word fat, there's a visceral reaction to people. And I find that I'm the one comforting them to make them feel better that they heard me just say it. And for me, it was kind of like, I just wanted to destigmatize it. I just wanted to, that's how I refer to myself, but it's not like the cross that I'm going to die on. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it was like taking the word that hurt me the most and taking the pain out of it so that I could live my life and I could kind of, spread my wings and not feel like that was hanging over me and that it hurt me.
Yeah. You're taking the power out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's just, I would never feel comfortable calling someone fat in an endearing way.
Yeah.
But I would call you, I would call you bitch in an endearing way. But if a man said it to me,
for sure,
then it's not the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I think it's completely appropriate for anyone who's referred to as something to drain the toxicity of it and take the power back. What do you think is the biggest issue facing the body positivity movement right now?
That's a good question. I don't know, probably the lack of community. I think it's really hard because there's so many angles, I think, in society, in so many ways that we are all, I mean, women in general, we're always pitted to hate each other and rip each other apart, and that's society's doing, right? But when it's within the body positive community, or I guess like the plus size community, I feel like it's quite hard because we wear our emotions on our shoulders. It's for some people, it is their whole identity and it means a lot to them. And I think that that's very valid. But I think that there is a lack of community, especially in regards to when people lose weight or change their bodies. I think that it's hard for some people. And I think sometimes people take things personally about other people's bodies that they shouldn't, because
like when someone is presenting as body positive while they're heavier and then they lose weight,
and maybe they're not honest about it, or maybe they're, if they have a big following or whatever. I've seen that happen a lot because we are in the age of, there's a lot of health transformations, and it's been happening a lot since COVID. But I've always been an advocate. That's why I created my F Your Beauty Standards movement like over a decade ago, was because I wanted people, like, screw what society thinks of you. Do what you want to do what feels good. And I think that some people sometimes take things a bit too personally and don't kind of focus on their own happiness. And that could be said with anybody, not just within my own community.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the public eye in some capacity for almost 20 years. So my body is constantly picked apart in every different way. I mean, there was like a time where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to edit photos anymore. I'm not going to do it. And then like the next day I posted a completely normal picture and every comment was like, are you pregnant? And it was crazy to me. I'm like, it's such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
How like bodies are perceived on the internet.
Yeah.
Like every week I'm going to post my workout video and I'm going to have 700 men tell me that I need to get a BBL. At least. George is laughing. He knows how ridiculous this post is. Like that's what it's become. Like it's everyone has an opinion about other people's bodies it is almost borderline. Like of all the crazy things that goes on in the world, I think that is one of the crazier things that we do.
I saw one of the funniest TikToks I've ever seen in my life before I left the house. And it was this man who was not attractive at all. I would say if you're going on the 1 to 10, 10 being most attractive, 1 being nah, he was probably like a 2.
Ooh.
Maybe a 2.5. This man got on Beyonce's internet and said, well, I'm just so tired of ugly women asking me out. And was so serious, 10 toes down. And I commented, this must be rage bait because what are you talking about? I think that men that comment on stuff like that, like they don't realize the call is coming from within the house. And also like there's plenty of your faves that have BBLs and you don't even know it and blah, 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 blah. But also who cares?
And also like get a BBL if you want a BBL. I'm very pro BBL.
And
I mean, it's a dangerous surgery, but if you want to do it, like I'm pro whatever you want to do with your body. But it is just...
There's a lot of audacity.
It's so much audacity. Yeah. And it really is remarkable to me because so for that perspective, which is what I wanted to ask you about, like these people are telling me that I look pregnant, right? Which is insane. I mean, I've never been pregnant to my knowledge. And what they're saying is that they can physically look at me and see that I am pregnant. So like, I don't know that you stranger on the internet are looking at a photo on Instagram and you believe that you see a human being growing inside my body and I don't know that. Like, oh, are you pregnant? Why would this be how I launched it? I have so many follow-ups to this, like very, very, it's like one of the weirdest things. But it never really ends. And there's this idea that people can like look at you and determine your health. Yeah. Like I've been thin. Okay, now I'm not doing well. Okay, I gained 30 pounds. Okay, now I'm not doing well. I'm in the state that I'm in now. That's not right. Like there's never an answer. But the health thing to me is very weird because why would you be able to look at someone and tell if they're healthy?
I think that it's really weird. I think that it's strange. I think that, I think people are weird. It's funny when I turn on the street for the studio, my trainer is like 2 blocks away. And I was on live the other day with my trainer and people were like, there's no way you work out. There's no way, blah, blah, blah. And I just always think it's funny. I think that, it's the same way I feel when people are on my comments and, on social media and they're like, who would ever kiss you? You're disgusting. And my favorite comeback because I'm a child is, I don't know, ask your dad. Yeah. Or stupid stuff like that.
That is solid. You can ask your mom too, actually. Yeah.
That's what I would have been like, you're pregnant? I don't know, ask your dad. I'm just like, people
And now you're my stepson.
Yeah. And you have to pay me rent. Here's my Venmo. I just think that people are just so focused on everybody else when they could go to therapy and work through their things and leave me alone. And I've been called unhealthy and everything on the internet for so long. I had somebody, on social media recently tell me that I would never make it to 30. And my response to them was about 2 seconds. And it said, babe, I'm 39. I'm 39. Google's I know free. I don't look like it. That's embarrassing for you. It's the cheeseburger grease that keeps me youthful. But like, why do you care? Like, it's just so strange.
Well, it's a mean place. It is. You have been in the space for so long. I know because I've been following you forever. And you do deal with an insane amount of disgusting level hate. And there is a real I mean, again, obviously all of this is weird because being mean to strangers is an insane habit, but
Yeah.
there's a real hatred for people who are plus size, and it's very like visceral.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting to be front facing at all, but to be dealing with that type of like someone saying that you're going to die or saying that you don't work out or that you don't take care of yourself or that you're not healthy because you happen to be born in the body that you're in.
Or that I don't care about my kids. Like,
Yeah.
or they'll be like, oh, well, you don't love your kids enough to be healthy and to stay around for them. And I always think that that's really strange too, because why would I go through everything I have to do with my body to not be around for them? And I also think that health is not a moral mandate. I always refer to my mom because my mom has been disabled my entire life. My mom would be deemed unhealthy, but that's not something that she can help. Also, some of us have illnesses or birth defects or et cetera. Some people, are in larger bodies. Some people aren't. It's like, who are we? Like, when did people become the jury, the judge, and the executioner to sit up here and say, that's not okay, this is okay? But then, sometimes I feel like I can't blame people because that's what we've been taught as a society. And that's what's been thrown in our face over and over. It's that, and that's part of why I didn't know I had an eating disorder for so long, because my particular eating disorder was always associated with like thin white women. So like, why would I think that I would have that eating disorder? But then that all trickles back to like the lack of education and care within, minority communities and how a system designed to keep certain groups oppressed does that.
Yeah.
And continues to. So it's just like so deep. And that's probably why I try to like do it all with a smile on my face, because if I didn't, girl, I would crumble.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is exhausting. So what do you do to sort of let all of that go? Because you have to build a armor just to move through the world.
Yeah. And I'm very sensitive. So it's tough. I take a lot of breaks from social media. Writing my book has kept me busy for the last like 2.5 years. So I was just kind of like putting all my energy into that. I have really great friends and a really great team and a really great family and really great kids. And I try to focus on what actually matters and what is in front of me. What can I control that's in front of me? We can't control anything, but I can also control where my happiness goes and where my energy goes. And if it's not benefiting me or fulfilling me in some way, then I will not spend more than 24 hours letting me feel anything other than, hopefully, if it's not happiness, just some kind of peace or harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have to take a break for sure.
Do.
Do you worry? I mean, you're writing your book for young people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really fascinated, like where beauty standards go for the next generation, because you and I are around the same age. So we grew up with magazines. We grew up with like a very controlled beauty image, which was very white, which was very thin, straight hair, like all of those things. Now with the internet, there is a variety of options for what you can be and look like and have communities. Like it's not that it's perfect, but there's visibility, at least on the internet, that, the big monsters can't control.
Yeah.
But my concern with like the explosion of social media was that there was going to be a standard for perfection. And I kind of feel like this generation has taken a little bit of that back. Like, there was a time where being on camera with like a pimple cover was,
they would never
craziness.
And now it's normal.
And it's almost like encouraged to be even more raw, like to have like, to just show up as you are and then occasionally let everyone know that you're a baddie.
I think we're going to be fine because our current younger generations are vicious.
Yeah, they do be snapping.
They are vicious. Sometimes they need to like take a breath and a beat and maybe like do some research before they snap, because sometimes they're snapping at the wrong people and doing too much. But then I look back when I was their age and I also was doing too much and saying too much.
Yeah.
But the beauty trends are actually showing that we are shifting to a place where these are not my words, but they said that ugly is going to be trendy. So it's interesting to see.
I hope for only women because
I hope for only women too,
don't
because
need any more
ugly men have been trending for far
Oh my
too
God,
long.
they've been winning for so long. We're tired of the wins for the ugly men. No.
But they're just, whether you, and I just say ugly because that was what like trend forecasters are saying, but that really was. They were like, ugly is the new pretty. But what is ugly? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't actually believe in ugly.
Neither do I.
Like I was walking around this week. I don't know. Maybe I was having like a little transcendent moment. Who knows? But I'm walking around. I was like just looking at people, and I was like, people don't be that ugly. Like I think we are so hard on ourselves. Like
I just want a T-shirt that says "People don't be that ugly."
They don't like because I think people. Well, one, we've like just shifted to this place in society where everybody looks the fucking same, and it's
don't get me started.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
And so when I see someone who is like a beautiful older woman who clearly is taking care of herself but hasn't had a bunch of work done, I'm like, wow, that's a really beautiful woman. I also don't give a fuck if you do 4 facelifts. Like that works for me too. I genuinely don't care what anyone does with their body, but I just think there's really a lot of beauty in the world. Like I think people are more beautiful than they can see in themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's why I really think that there is so much beauty in diversity. Like that is why I've made it my whole life's work, because there are so many people that don't see their worth and don't see how beautiful they are. But like you said perfectly, it's the machine that's made people feel that way. So, and I think uniqueness is hot. I think that people being themselves and being authentically themselves, whatever that looks like, is the hottest thing.
I do too. Yeah. I love a look. I love a look.
Me too.
Because I really don't feel like I'm that very edgy fashion wise. I love fashion and beauty, and I'm a girly girl for sure, which is why I've been following you forever. But I just love when somebody commits to a look and is unapologetic about it, even if it's not my style.
Same. Yeah.
Because I'm like, we just need different shit. Like everything cannot be the same.
No. And I feel like now when you like walk around, especially in LA, I feel like you're right. Everyone looks the same. Everyone has the same bag and the same accessories and the same outfit and the same aesthetic. And it's like, I don't know. I want off this train.
Well, LA is tough too. I mean, you're from the South, from Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm from Pittsburgh. And you've had the privilege to travel the world, as have I. LA, I try to not let LA like flavor all of my viewpoints, because when I step outside of the city, I'm like, oh, people are doing fun stuff. LA just can really suck you in. I remember when I moved here, when I first moved to LA, I moved from Miami. I lived in Miami for 10 years. And when I lived in Miami, it's changed a little bit now, but when I lived in Miami, it was all like bandage dresses, like if we went out, I didn't have to ask anybody if they were wearing a dress. Like it was a dress and heels. There was no such thing as jeans. Yeah. And I moved to LA and like went out in one of my Miami dresses, and I was like, oh my God, like, do I look like a hooker? Like I'm in like this bright pink dress. Everyone's walking around, they're like grungy black vampire mode stuff. I was like, I have to get a new wardrobe. And I literally let it influence me. Now I don't care. Like I will wear color all the time because I like color. But Yeah, I mean, LA is tough. LA will suck you in.
LA is tough. I've been here for 16 years and I love it. But what I love is being able to leave and come back. Like, I love being here, but I love leaving. Also, bandage dresses are going to be like the next thing next year. That's what they're saying.
Coming back. I don't know about this, guys.
I look like I'm in a sausage casing. In a bandage dress.
They don't look good on anyone.
I'm not a fan.
They don't look.
No.
We don't have to bring those back.
It's how I feel about peplum as well. Why are peplum tops back?
They don't need to come back either.
They don't. Burn them.
Burn them.
Yeah, burn
we
them.
must have a bonfire for them.
Absolutely.
I don't want peplum. I don't want them back. And I don't want, we don't need to bring back that era of fashion,
No,
actually.
we don't.
Like, we don't need to bring back the office era. It was not a good time for any of us.
Fat girls growing up, we all looked like little tiny business people because we had no options. It
We
was just
all
like,
looked insane.
I looked like,
Here's my theory why we did that. Because the clubs put these ridiculous mandates for the men. And because women were perfect, in solidarity, we tried to make them feel comfortable in their business outfits. So they had to wear these ridiculous, like, hard bottom shoes and the button downs.
I remember. Yes,
and so
I do.
then we were like, cool, we'll dress like weird cheap secretaries that were, we got our outfit from American Apparel or like Rue 21 or whatever it was. Awful.
Yeah.
Those were terrible looks.
It
the
wasn't
big chunky necklaces.
No, I had them all. I was in Club Memories with a Z in Mississippi with whatever. Not looking a mess. But
looking a mess.
And no one was on their phone. And thank God, the only way that those photos would have been documented is through a digital camera, which I don't even know where that exists. So thank God.
But to be clear, we're better than all of you. We had the best of times. Okay, we didn't know what a water was. We were drinking vodka cranberries out of horrible plastic cups with 3-week-old limes.
Yes.
We were dancing our asses off. We were sweating on each other.
Yeah.
We were making out, and nobody knew about it. And the debriefs were spectacular.
Yeah.
We had a time, and that's why everyone is still listening to our music, because we were actually having a good time. Those days are over. They're never coming back.
I do feel really grateful to be a millennial, even though we get made fun of online.
We're the best generation.
I honestly feel like we are, and we're the hottest.
We're the hottest, and we are unequivocally the best generation. And here's why. I've said this before. First of all, no one can tell me anything, so we are the best generation. But we are literally the best because we remember and had experiences in a time before the internet.
Yeah.
So we know what that kind of fun was. And now we live and can thrive in this internet time as well. So we've had both experiences. Like, we know what it's like to have to be home before the street lights come on. We know what ice cream men were. We were riding our bikes and like hanging out with our neighbors.
TPing houses before Ring cameras. Like, if my enemies came near me, we were TPing things. We were
egging houses.
Oh, egging. I was also putting ketchup on pads and sticking them to people's mailboxes.
Yeah. We were menaces.
I could do. I was sneaking out, doing all kinds. You couldn't do it in this era of Ring cameras.
You couldn't do anything.
No.
Sneaking out, unheard of.
No.
You have your phone with you. It's just going to track you everywhere you go. You're not going to leave your phone
There
at
was
home.
no Life 360.
No, you just our parents just assumed we were alive. Or they would call one of the neighbors and be like, hey, have you seen my child? Like, I saw them 20 minutes ago. Like, okay, cool. So they'll be around eventually. And if you dared to not come home, you might as well be dead anyway, because then you're going to get your ass beat.
Yeah. I've never been to Pittsburgh, but my neighbors were cows. So there wasn't really anybody to call if I didn't. But I'm guessing in Pittsburgh it was a little different.
Yeah, they were definitely not cows. But no, I had neighbors for sure. But yeah, I mean, we just lived in a different time. And that time is not coming back. So no. I really feel like we're the best because we know how to survive in both worlds.
We do,
and
we're resilient.
We're the best, and we look so good because we weren't crushing cigs.
I'm also so sad that you were drinking vodka crayons because mine was Everclear.
Ooh.
I know. I don't know.
Oh no, I was a brat when I was talking about the binge drinking era, which is just such a terrible time. But like when being called a lightweight was like an insult.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I can't do it. I can't do beer. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I wouldn't do whiskey. So yeah, but I mean, vodka had its time though. Remember the Absolutes?
I do. Of course I do. Yeah.
All the flavors.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a menace. I really was. I don't really drink that much anymore though. So I'm
No,
kind
I
of,
mean, how could our bodies stand it?
I'm just
We
kind of
drink
boring.
so much alcohol. I could, if you just drained all the alcohol that I've drinking in my lifetime, you just completely like stock a liquor store. These kids don't know anything about that. They're not even drinking.
No, they're not.
They think they think we were alcoholics,
Yeah.
like, which I don't know, maybe, but like it was not a time. It was not a time for the weak. Absolutely not. And there was not a water in sight. I don't remember drinking one single water in 4 years in college. What's a water?
Oh, I definitely wasn't drinking water. Now I am.
Yeah,
now I'm,
we got water right here.
because I'm trying to look youthful forever. But yeah,
You're gonna look amazing forever.
thank you.
All right, this was so fun. I have a couple rapid fire questions
Yes.
for you. Okay, if you could wear one designer for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Vivienne Westwood. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm a YSL girly. I love YSL. I have so much YSL. I'm so grateful for that. They're such a great designer. A time you regret being vulnerable.
Ooh, probably sharing my eating disorder a few years ago without like telling my team. I was a little too soon in my recovery.
I have regretted being vulnerable lots of times. I think publicly, I don't know that I've ever really regretted being vulnerable publicly because I've been pretty intentional about it.
Period.
But personally, yeah, yeah. I have one friend I would definitely take back vulnerability with. Celebrity you would nominate for president. I nominate Tess Holliday.
No, I don't want it.
That's why you're perfect for it.
A celebrity, Dolly Parton.
Oh, the only answer.
Yeah.
The only answer,
Dolly.
Tess. The only answer.
Yeah.
I like The Rock, I think. But if I'm gonna nominate someone for president that's a celebrity, it's gonna have to be myself because I don't trust any of these celebrities.
Period.
Anymore.
I'd rather
But
have
what
you
I would
than The
really
Rock.
like is for no more celebrities to be president and
Yeah.
just a normal politician that does
So good
politics
thing you
stuff.
didn't nominate me.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not a real celebrity though. I'm like a.
Yes,
I'm like
you are.
a. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. Toughest lesson you've had to learn in love.
To believe what you find the first time. They're not going to change. Yes, they will keep cheating on you with your fans. And it won't get better. So leave them the first time. Don't give them 50 chances.
Yeah, that is a hard lesson. I've learned that lesson also. The hardest lesson I've learned in love. Hardest lesson I've learned in love. I think that you can't make people change. And when they show you who they are, you have to believe it. I guess it's the same lesson. But it takes so much to learn that lesson, unfortunately.
It does.
It just takes a lot. It's not the easiest lesson to learn. It's one of the most painful lessons that you'll learn, but it's not an easy one. Something you always judge others for.
Oh gosh, I don't really make a habit of I mean, I would say the only thing I would judge somebody on was like maybe being a bad parent publicly.
Yes, that's my answer too.
Yeah, like if like you are dressed to the nines and your kid is like filthy, but in a way where it's like they didn't just spill something, and maybe like if your kid doesn't have what they need and I get that's hard. It's hard for me.
Yeah, I have a bad parent, so I cannot. If you are like absent, or like I love the man who's like bragging about how like I see my child like once a month, like that.
It's weird. Or people that say they're babysitting their kids.
Babysitting is crazy.
That's wild.
It's
because that
it's
baby
such a red
came
flag
out,
as a person.
Yeah, it came out of you in some capacity. So
that's
wild.
Yeah, a bad parent is a major, not even a red flag. Like I'm 100% judging you for that. Before we let you go, I am also a domestic violence survivor. It's something that I've talked about very publicly and been very vulnerable about. What is your experience in that space, like being public about it? How has that affected you? Has it made you feel stronger in the conversation? Because for me, I was absolutely petrified to talk about it the first time I talked about it. But as I've talked about it more, I've sort of drained a lot of the pain out of speaking about it in sharing with other people. So what has that been like for you?
I agree with you. I think as somebody that experienced DV throughout my childhood and then into my intimate partnerships as an adult, it's not somewhere you ever kind of find, you don't think you're going to find yourself there. And I think I have worked really hard to remove the shame that I felt around, quote, getting myself in that situation. Because it's not, you don't know when things like that are going to happen. And yeah, we can sit here and say like, leave the first time or XYZ, like we're saying. I'm fortunate to just be sitting here, as I'm sure you are too. And so that is something I've had to work really hard for. And it's easier for me to talk about it now because I know how fortunate I am to be able to even share my experiences, because there's so many that never will be able to. So it gets easier, but my heart also hurts for people that will never know what that feels like.
Yeah. And to be clear, when we were doing rapid fire, we're just talking about like regular relationships. The domestic violence build up to that thing is a completely different conversation. Well, I'm proud of you for speaking about it. Yeah. Because it does help other people.
It does. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we advocate for, and it can feel like, why the fuck am I doing this? Because no one cares and the internet's horrible and everyone's hateful and mean. But those conversations I know have had like real impacts on people because it is important to put a face to domestic violence. Like it's important for people to see that you've survived and that you're thriving and that you can have a life and take control of, your happiness outside of that type of abuse. So
I'm
glad
too.
we spoke about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've loved having you on. I could talk to you for the next 3 hours. So I'm going to have to insist that we're friends so we can do this.
I'm glad we're best friends now and you all witnessed
we're
it.
besties. Yes, this is where it happened. Make sure that you pre-order Tess's second book. You take up space, y'all. Your bold, bright guide to self-love. Available for pre-order now, and it comes out on August 26th. And follow her on Instagram, as I have had for many years, at Tess Holliday. Thank you so much for coming down, babe.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
That's great. Love that conversation with Tess. She is so great. Make sure you go and pre-order her book and follow her on social media. It's time for Never Too Personal. If you want to be a part of the show, you can email us at toopersonalpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us at toopersonalshow on Instagram. Make sure you go and follow us on all of our pages. So this question is, what is your strategy for coming to terms with opportunities, phases, or time periods being over? I really like this question because I have this conversation in my personal life a lot. Different phases and opportunities, different chapters of your life happen in a lot of different ways, whether it's relationships, whether it's career moves, whether it's things with family, it's chapters with friends, and being able to handle a chapter closing and processing it, I think is very essential to writing the story of your life. All of us will go through different phases. We will have different jobs. We will have different friend groups. We even have different, styles and the way that we dress or that we do our hair. We change throughout our lives, and so do our circumstances, whether they're within our control or not. And I think one of the biggest things for me, what I try to do when I know a chapter is ending, is to, one, reflect on everything that happened during that chapter, positive or negative, and give myself the time to grieve it. Because whether it's a person leaving your life, whether it's a job, whether it's, a phase, whether it's just a really bad time or you were struggling, whatever it is that you are going through or experience, you need to contextualize it in a way that is positive and healthy. And sometimes it just takes a little time to mourn it. I would have friends sometimes who were getting out of relationships, and I've done this as well, obviously, but this is the advice that I've given other people is, not to numb yourself with things. It's very easy when you're going through a chapter change to pour yourself into something else so that you don't feel the emotions of that current chapter ending. But the problem is those emotions are going to catch up with you eventually. So stand in it, allow the raw experience to happen, understand that you have different chapters of your life, and that's what makes your life exciting and dynamic is change, and it's inevitable, and it's going to happen to all of us. But taking the time to reflect and grieve and process all of it, however long that takes, is really important to being able to show up as your full self in the next chapter. So that's my advice for that. Thanks so much for sending in the question. Again, you can be a part of the show, twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media. Make sure that you subscribe, and we'll catch you next week.